So I have a interview shoot tomorrow, and I got the innovative cart pretty full. This thing has a pretty good weight limit. I'm not quite sure. I can't remember off the top of my head what it was, but I'm pretty sure I'm close to that, if not surpassing it. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, just a quick talking head interview tomorrow. And I have tripod, aperture 600D. Then I have batteries here. Then I have an aperture light mat in here for like a hair light, kicker light. I have the grid for the 600D. Then I have some more accessories, I think like audio and a couple other things. Oh wait, actually this is batteries, and then this one is audio in here. I have a couple of stingers kind of spread throughout the cart. One here, and then one on this side too. I have two C-stands, and then two low combo stands. I'll probably use the low combo stands for like the key light and the hair light, and then this will be audio, and then just have an additional one just in case we need it. I have the two Sony FX3 packages there. One's going to be on a set of sticks, and then one is going to be on an automated slider, in this case here. I also have a director's monitor mounted, ready to go. So yeah, this is pretty much all I'm going to bring for the shoot. Plan on just making one trip. In case I need something else, I might have to come back. I feel like I'm always coming back for like an extra sandbag or a stinger or something like that. So that's the goal as of right now. Just to have everything on the cart ready to go. I'll have to break this guy down to fit everything in here. Not the actual cart, but everything on top will need to come off except for the low stuff. The director's monitor will need to come off, and then all the stands will need to come off. But I think everything else should be able to stay, like as far as the cameras and the slider. I should be able to get that in the car in one load, and then everything else will kind of sprinkle throughout. I have some additional audio in case we need it. I'm just planning on a single boom, but in case they decide they want to film more than one person, I'll lob them up. And then I have some P60Cs here, some additional lights just in case, extra tripod, extra dirt, then all the other little goodies here. But yeah, I think it's going to be simple. I'll bring you guys along tomorrow and see you then. So I made it to location the next morning. I showed up a little early just to get everything loaded onto the cart. So that way, call time, we were ready to roll into the building. This was a job with a local production company here in Little Rock. They were double booked, so they hired me to come in and make it happen. So we were getting set up for first interview. We had about 45 minutes on the schedule to get everything set. But there must have been a little bit of a miscommunication because talent was showing up in like 20 minutes. So really we only had about 20 minutes to get set up, which is not ideal. And I usually would try and push for more time, but this was a very particular client and they couldn't really flex any on time. So I tried to make the 20 minutes work as best as possible, and I think it turned out okay. So this was a very simple shoot, just talking head interviews in a typical meeting room, boardroom. It wasn't the nicest boardroom I've been in, so we definitely had to pick the best angle. There were big windows in the background, so I thought shooting kind of into those and into the corner of the room would probably be best, and then trying to get a little bit of depth in the background. I'm really glad I picked up this new lens, the Sony G Master 51.2, to really help kind of make that background fall off as much as possible because it wasn't the prettiest. And before anyone says anything in the comments, I know the C-stands are not set up correctly. I had people kind of shuffling, trying to get things set up as much as possible. So those were definitely not set up right. I think in between interviews, I went ahead and flipped them and then added a sandbag to the boom pole. But luckily, we weren't really extending the boom pole too much, and it's a carbon fiber one, so it was super lightweight. It probably would have been fine, but you know, it kind of makes me cringe personally when I see things not set up correctly. But yeah, I love this slider here. It's honestly my favorite slider. It's super simple to get set up. It has physical controls instead of trying to fiddle with an app or whatnot. It has this integrated control box that just makes it super simple. But I love the F6. It's a super great recorder. We were recording everything in 32-bit float, so that way we didn't really have to monitor it too much, knowing that we would be able to fix it in post and kind of even out the levels, and it sounded great. But yeah, I had a director's monitor set up so I could kind of keep an eye on the image and whatnot, making sure we weren't blowing out in the background with the sun coming through. And I purchased a cheap quad split HDMI only little box from Amazon just to get multiple images up on the screen. And this is not the best solution when you don't have the other two inputs connected. It has kind of bars there, so it was a little distracting looking at those bright colors. I wish there was a way to like turn those off. Eventually I'm gonna upgrade to like a decimator or like a Blackmagic quad split, something like that will give me more customization. But this was a cheap one off Amazon. I think it was like $40 or whatnot, but it definitely served its purpose for the shoot. I think overall it turned out okay. Obviously if I had more time, I would have loved to have really dialed in the light a little bit better, kind of dressed the background a little bit more. There's always like a million things I would have done differently after a shoot, but we just did our best and kind of rolled with it. But yeah, we wrapped and then we headed out. Hey guys, so I made it back home from the shoot this morning. Great shoot. But now I'm prepping for another shoot this week. I drive up to Houston on Thursday and have a shoot on Friday, come home Saturday. So pretty busy week, but I got some new surprises on my way home. It's always fun getting new gear, but I got a 5-foot Octobox softbox here. And then I have a Cucaloris. It's just a wood Cucaloris. I made my own just out of cardboard and black paint, black spray paint, but they didn't really last very long. It was kind of flimsy, hard to mount. So I just went ahead and just got an official Matthews Cucaloris that I'm going to use later this week. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.